Hey guys, happy Sunday. How the hell are you? It's been a week. It's time for a weight update and a glucose monitoring update. Long story short for you guys that haven't been following me week to week in my progress, and some weeks lack of progress even. I went from 250 pounds down to about 189 pounds on my own, doing it on my own. And then I just kind of stuck there for a couple of years, couldn't get any lighter. Everything I tried, every time I'd try a diet, I'd actually gain weight, and I just quit doing it. So I just assumed that I'd be 180, 190 until I died. And then my doctor called one day and said, Ben, you have diabetes, so you need to be on diabetes medication, and I'm recommending a once a week shot, and we call it Mounjaro. It's brand new. I know I say it wrong. There are some people that are bothered by the way I say Mounjaro, and I'm sorry. I know it's wrong. That's just the way I say it. But I started the Mounjaro shots, and I started getting my glucose under control. In fact, it went from 475 and my A1C went from 10.6 down to 5.4 on the A1C, and my glucose 475 dropped it down to 90 to 100 week to week. So I was doing great on the Mounjaro. Well, I was losing so much weight. I went from 180, 190. I dropped it all the way down to 147. And I just kept cruising right along. I kept losing weight week after week. I also came down with this neuropathy deal in my right foot that is linked to the Mounjaro, although the Mounjaro is not the cause of it. It could be anything that would cause my blood sugar to drop so quickly in such a short period of time could lead to the neurological damage that I did to my foot. We're going to talk about that in another video. I've actually already talked about it in a past video, but it's worth repeating because it is important information. But today I want to talk about the Fitbit Inspire 3 that I have here, just a little bit, nothing technical. We're just going to go over the basics and why I love this thing, and go over my glucose numbers and my weight numbers. Now, last week my glucose was well controlled. I was telling you guys it's the lowest it had been in probably months since I had quit the Mounjaro, because as you know, when I was on the Mounjaro, I was 90 to 100 on my glucose, and since stopping the Mounjaro about 5 months ago, it's been climbing and dropping and climbing, but never above 140. In fact, last week it was 119. This week, I'm happy to report it's only 124, so it's gone up a little bit, but keep in mind, KH and I were on the road all last week traveling. We went to Louisville, Kentucky, hung out, went to the pub under the bridge for you locals. Good place to eat. We enjoy it, although it's a little crowded during events. And then we went across the street and saw some country guy sing a couple country songs, and then we went home and went to bed. After that, we went south to a little place called East Bernstadt, Kentucky, and to a place called Wildcat Adventures Off-Road Park. We took our toy hauler RV down there. We actually brought along our toy this trip, which we do most trips, and try to find places to ride. And we rode the paths and trails there for about 4 days. It was wonderful. And now we're home. Looks like we may be home for the winter, although we may be convinced to take one more trip, possibly before Thanksgiving. We'll see. But anyway, we're home for now, so things are starting to stabilize again. So, like I said, my blood sugar this week, 124, well controlled still, so I'm very happy with that. And I'm still not taking anything for diabetes. I'm just watching what I eat, watching what I drink, and getting my exercise in 3 or 4 times a week. And I'm being able to monitor it a little bit better with this Inspire 3 from Fitbit. Let's just get the weight thing out of the way and we'll move on, okay? My weight last week was 153.4. I'd actually dropped a couple of pounds. I wasn't upset about it, but I wasn't happy about it either, because I'm shooting for a weight between 155 and 165. When I got down to 147 and quit the Mounjaro, I just kept losing it, and I need to gain it, right? Because 147 is just too thin for me. So I'm shooting for 155 to 165, and I've been shooting for that weight for the past 5 months. I've slowly increased my weight from a low of 147. Last week it was 153.5. It's taken me 5 months to get there. And I'm not overeating. I'm not going to do it the way I put the weight on in the first place. I'm going to put the weight on through diet and exercise. Good diet, good healthy foods, and good exercise. Anyway, weight last week 153.4. Any bets? Think I gained or lost? What do you think, you guys? Take a look. We don't want to go too many pounds over. We're going to zero it out. And here we go. Drum roll, please. Ooh, that's a big number. All right. All right, y'all, 158.4. Pretty happy with that number, actually. I know it may seem like a big number in a week, 5 pounds, but not really. Haven't gone to the restroom. Don't want to get into too many personal things, but week to week, that's a great weight for me. I'm exactly where I want to be, right? I want to be between 155 and 165. Now's the time that I really, although I've already really been watching what I eat, really watch what I eat and make sure that I'm not exceeding my intake of where I'm at right now, because that seems to be holding my weight at a fairly good upswing right now. Now's the time that I really have to start counting my calories and watch what I eat. I don't want to exceed my daily output of calories, because if I do that, I'll just put some weight back on, and I don't want to. Now I want to kind of level out where I'm at. So now's the time I'm going to really start watching what I eat. I've already not been eating anything terrible for me. It's all good food. Now I just need to eat a little bit of less of the good food. And then if I do snack, I don't snack on anything like, crackers or anything. I save it for the celery and more stuff like that, right? And then if I find myself losing weight, then I can go back up to the crackers and the stuff like that again for my little snacks. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video was an update to get my blood glucose, which is well controlled right now, 5 months, 6 months after quitting Mounjaro. So without any further ado, let's get on with the Fitbit 3 and what I like about this watch here, right? This is a health watch, and it does a couple of things which I like. It does a lot of things, actually, but there's a couple of things that I want to talk about today that I found particularly useful on this watch. Right, I got it in the first place because I needed something to count my steps. Somebody had commented in one of my videos, Ben, don't you have a step counter? And I was like, I don't have a step counter. Why don't I have a step counter? I started walking. I'm the kind of guy that likes data, right? Because if I did 500 steps today, I want to do 501 tomorrow. I'm that kind of a progression, stepping up kind of guy that gets my stuff done in slow, steady incrementations. Diet and exercise have been a couple of areas that this has worked particularly well in. I didn't all of a sudden just start eating good, right? It's been a process over several years of cutting bad stuff out of my diet slowly and methodically until I got down just a couple bad things on a couple of really weak days. I've quit doing that altogether now, and it's really paid off in huge dividends as far as weight loss goes, and as far as keeping my weight in check while I'm off the diet drug of Mounjaro, and while I'm also off the diabetes control drug of Mounjaro, right? So I have to do it through diet and exercise now. It's up to me, basically. I've got no drugs to rely on at this moment. So anyway, so far so good. But the step tracking on the watch is one of the things that I got the watch in the first place for, and I will tell you that it works really good as long as you don't go for early morning rides on your, say, side-by-side, right? In that case, you may find that you're getting like 10,000 steps before 9 a.m. and that's pretty much theoretically impossible when you have a foot like mine with the neuropathy problems and the knees that I have. No 10,000 steps before breakfast, I assure you. But when you go for a ride in your machine, it doesn't know that you're riding around. It just senses that hand moving, it thinks you're walking, and it counts them as steps or something. I'm not really sure how it works scientifically, but I just know that if you take a ride in your Razor in the morning, you're going to have a ton of steps by 9 a.m. So take it off if you're going to go riding around, wear it for your exercises, and it does perfect if you use it that way. The sleep tracker is another reason that I really like it. It tracks my sleep, and I must say, I think it does a pretty damn good accuracy job of doing that. I'm really not sure how it also does that. Last night, it told me that I got 4 hours and 41 minutes, and it said that my sleep rating was poor, with an overall rating of 58. 2 days before that, I had gotten the best sleep I've gotten probably in months. I got like 12 hours of sleep or some crazy stuff. Now, granted, we're out camping and we'd sat around a campfire the night before. It was that mountain fresh air of Kentucky, 12 hours, right? But I woke up and I felt fantastic, right? It was the best I felt in a month. And I look at my Fit watch and it says you slept for 12 hours and 21 minutes or something. And my sleep rating was like 95. It was like the best sleep rating I've ever had, and I couldn't agree more with the watch. When I got the poor rating, I also couldn't agree more with the watch. I don't know how it does it, but it tracks a couple of different things while you're sleeping. It counts the times that you wake up, because everybody wakes up during the night just for brief moments, right? Could be for a couple of minutes. You may not even be conscious, but your body wakes up, right? And then it goes back to sleep. So my awake times last night, just scientifically interesting numbers, 115 minutes. So, you know, my REM times, rapid eye movement, when your eyes are doing that back and forth thing, when you've got your eyelids closed, that means that you're dreaming normally, and that means that you're getting some pretty good sleep. REM is a pretty good indication of good sleep. If you, some people never have REM movements. Some people have a ton of it at night, and those are the best sleepers. The guys that have brief moments of REM also report a pretty good night's sleep. Generally speaking, and my REM movements last night were 57 minutes. So that's pretty good for me. Light sleep, I got 3 hours and 2 minutes, and it put me in deep sleep for 42 minutes. So overall, you know, a sleep score of 58, which is pretty low out of 100. My oxygen level, it also detects that when I'm sleeping, and it gives me a rating between low and high. Low is a good rating because it's an oxygen variability rating. It's when I'm taking deep breaths or sleeping, you want that oxygen level to remain about the same, the variable to remain about the same, and it does in my case. Now, if it goes high, where it's variably, you know, going like this when you're sleeping and awake, if it's high when you're sleeping, or low when you're sleeping and high when you're awake, or vice versa, you might have problems, and the watch would alert you to that. In my case, I'm normal, so that's good stuff. In 14 days, it gave me a report on my sleep and told me what kind of sleeper I generally am. In another 4 or 5 days, at the 20-day mark, it's going to give me a monthly report. So I'll be able to share that with you, and maybe next week even. It may be up. I'll have to check it. But man, I really like this watch, you guys. It's $99 and 99 cents on Amazon. I totally think it's worth it. I showed my wife, and she liked it so much that she just had to buy one, and she got a lavender one. Another thing it shows for the sleeping at night is my restless time. How many moments, or what my percentage of my evening of my sleep was restless sleep, right? And it said 11% last night, which is pretty high. Over the last, say, 14 days or so, I'd say that's a pretty high percent. Normally I'm in the 6 to 9-10% range. So last night's 11% was kind of high, and it kind of goes along with the fact that it said that I had crappy night's sleep last night. And that kind of goes along with my opinion, besides the watch's opinion, my personal opinion, that I had a crappy night's sleep last night. So the watch also gives you a daily readiness score. When you wake up, you can look at that, and it can kind of give you an indication on how well prepared you are for your day, how well rested you are, how your sleep went the night before, how it's gone the last couple of nights, right? How many calories you've burned, what your resting heart rate's at. I think it takes a lot of variables into consideration and gives you like an overall average on that. It's nothing scientific at all, but it's very cool, and it's very close to being right on target, I think. Another thing I really like about the watch is it kind of monitors and estimates how many calories you've burned throughout the day. And I'm not really sure how it does that either. I don't care, but I think it's pretty accurate, right? It doesn't know that you've eaten like a hoagie sandwich, or you've eaten bologna over, I don't know, meatloaf or something like that. It doesn't know any of that kind of stuff. It just knows what your heartbeat is, and what your skin temperature is, and that kind of stuff, and it gives you an average. So pretty interesting stuff. I do like that it estimates the calories that I burn, although I do know that it's not accurate in any kind of way. And one of the really cool features about it, one of the very accurate things about it, is it monitors your heart rate throughout the day, right? And it gives you a reading, and it lets you know what your low average heart rate was, it lets you know what your high average is, and then it'll alert you if you go above or below those two averages. That'll be good if I'm having heart problems in the future for sure. But it also has been interesting to see how certain foods, even when I'm eating, can affect my heart rate, or how certain exercise can affect my heart rate, and how just varying my tempo of walking can get that heart rate to a target spot that's above, what I need to be burning calories. So that's exactly perfect for a guy like me. It works perfect for me. And I've noticed that since I got this watch, it's made things like walking more interesting for me as a guy, because I like the data, right? I'm data driven. I like data. I like to compile data, and I like to see how it affects things. And so far, so good. And the last thing is a plea to you guys out there in the weight loss community, and even the diabetes control, the glucose control sphere out there. I'm getting a new scale. I need one for the RV, because we seem to be taking the RV a lot, and it's just a pain in the butt moving it back and forth to the RV. So I want to get a new scale for home base here at the house when we're home, so I don't have to keep doing that. So if anybody can recommend a really cool scale that they use, maybe something that gives you extra numbers that you found to be pretty accurate, like your body mass and that kind of stuff, I'm very interested in knowing what you guys use. I'd like to get this scale ordered in a week. So if you could leave comments on this video this week as to what kind of scale I should look into, I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe so you can tune back in and see what everybody's saying. Anyway, guys, we'll see you in about a week. Talk to you later.